What's going on? So the PlayStation Vita is officially dead. So, excuse me, Sony is done with handhelds. Um, as the CEO of the game division of Sony, I guess, I don't know what his title really is, said they are no longer producing games for the Vita. It was not successful. Aside from a few indie titles. And apparently there's supposed to be games going on sale due to the fact that Sony is leaving the handheld market. Sony, I need you to understand that I have a Vita, so when I see shit like, hey, there's games on sale on Vita, first thing I do is I go look. None of these bitches are on sale. Like, the games that are on sale are not the whole list of games. There's a fuck ton of games for the Vita. One that I specifically need to get is Tales of Heart R, because I don't feel like importing a DS just to play a DS game, especially when it's available to be played on the Vita, especially when it's easier to find for the Vita. This game still goes for $40. Why? I'm wondering as to why. Why is it the Vita has some games that are on sale? When you don't support the Vita, you just need to either get rid of the store, or you need to have this store be like what futuristic PlayStation store will look like when you no longer have a need for physical media. You need to go ahead and get ahead of the curve, Sony. You have the opportunity here, but I don't see you taking it. You know the Vita is a failure, at least here in the States, due to the lackluster of incompetence from you, not from your fans, Sony. I want to make this perfectly clear to all Sony heads. Sony's failure with the Vita is Sony's fault. So when I talk shit on Sony, remember, the Vita failed not because it wasn't a good system, but because of Sony's pure lack of incompetence and pure understanding that here in America we don't pay 4 times more for something just because it's proprietary to make the device work. The device will not sell. Sony, I've said this in past videos and I will say it again. You are yay fucking close to a handheld. A handheld beating your ass in physical sales, not just in handheld, but in core console as well. I need you to understand this. The most devoted of Sony fans, take Sony out of your ass for just 2 seconds. Look at the physical numbers. 154 million DSs were sold. 154 million and some change, I don't know the exact number, and 155 and some change were sold of the PS2. Those numbers are literally like that. They are literally only a million, if not more or less, between the two. Sony, you have zero wiggle room, because the market that you just completely shit on and everything, the handheld market, you probably need to pull out of the phone market. You need to go ahead and just eliminate that shit, because you have no business in that motherfucker. Because a cell phone is a handheld device. You have no business fucking with it. But you as an overall company, you're literally just an inch above. You're an inch in front. You're not leaps and bounds ahead of anybody. Let's get that straight. You're not leaps and bounds above anybody. You made 100 million, 105 off the PS1, 155 off the PS2. 85 million with the PS3, and finally 100 something with the PS4. You have no wiggle room here. These are your core consoles. Your PS3, which was the most powerful console on the market at the time, was beat out by the Nintendo Wii U. Or not the Wii U, but the Wii. The Nintendo Wii. That machine was way weaker than yours, and it beat its ass. it's also one of the best dust collectors under the sun. But the point still remains that that system beats your ass. So, and a handheld falls just shy of your greatest core console of all time. The handheld that came out during its lifespan is just a little bit more under, just a little bit under your PS2 cells. Fuck your handhelds. The DS shit all over the Vita and the PSP without even trying. You can combine cell figures for both of those and they still don't even come close to the original DS, which in my opinion is just like a regular Nintendo to Super Nintendo with the graphics and the playstyle on two screens. That's all the DS is. It's not impressive on any level. It just ended up being something easily accessible, and a library exists that can almost trump any library to a core console if it really wanted to. I mean, the DS has, like I said, Tales of Heart R is on the DS. It was originally made for the DS. It got put on the Vita, and I understand Tales games are like the new Final Fantasy, but I want a copy of Tales of Heart R, and it's not easy to come across a physical. And when I heard, hey, you're having a sale on the Vita because you're no longer supporting it, the first game I went to go check out was Tales of Heart R because it's the first game in my mind. I have everything else that I want physically, a complete collection of Xseed games. I have Spider-Man to Dokkan on the Vita as well. Like, I mean, if I want it, I have it. But I want Tales of Heart R. That game's hard to find. I'm not paying $40 for it. Get that out of your fucking mind. Quit talking about the Vita, Sony. Just stop. Just stop. Don't bring it up anymore. Make everything that's available for the Vita. Discount at 50%. Discount at 50%. I'll say it one more time. Every game on the Vita, regardless if it's a PSP port or a Vita original, needs to be on sale for 50% off from now until the end of time. Or until you decide to shut it down completely. But it needs to be 50% off. Because you're missing out on money. Nobody's going to pay you full price for a video game on a system that you yourself have not done shit for in the past 3 to 5 years. That kind of thinking is why you kind of are on a downward slope. While the PS4 has been good at making you some money, let's not forget the PS3 cost a lot more than it was worth. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that the Vita is a failure. Let's not forget the PS3 was a failure. Let's not forget the amount of money that was lost between these two devices. Not only just those two devices, let's not forget the millions lost in your movies and television studios. Not only that, but your other parts as well. So before you go on ranting and talking about how the Vita was such a failure, look in the mirror real quick and ask yourself, did you really do anything fucking impressive to help the Vita within its life cycle? Because if you talk to Vita owners, they love the damn machine. The problem isn't the machine. The problem's the company. I've been saying this for a while. Sony, you're the luckiest fucking company under the sun, but that luck will run out. And with the digital future here, and the longer Google Stadia stays here, and with xCloud coming soon, you're looking at that luck running out pretty quickly if you don't jump ahead of the curve. Get PlayStation Now on every device, cell phone, tablet, television, computer. Get out in front of this. PlayStation Now is ready to go. Put it on the market. I am so tired of looking at this and going, why are you not moving? You killed your own device twice. You killed it. Your fault, Sony. The PSP and the PS Vita. 100% your fault, not the customers. If you've ever played a PSP, if you've ever played a PS Vita, you understand what I'm saying. You understand, yes, those two devices failed, and those two devices failed due to Sony's incompetence. Not because of lack of sales and customers not having interest. No. During the PSP life cycle, in the middle of the life cycle, mind you, PlayStation, because they came out with the PS3, completely abandoned the PSP. Sprinkling a game here and a game there every 6 months to a year, if at all. Wasn't the fan base didn't want it. Christ, people ran out in drones to buy the PSP when it first came out, and still bought it after the second and third one came out. So it's not that the customers weren't there, Sony. You abandoned us, not once, but twice. So fuck you, fuck your damn CEO, and go to fucking hell. Don't come to the handheld market again. You have no right here. You don't belong here. Go fuck yourself. You understand? Hopefully the PS5 is a success, because if it's not, Sony, you might as well fucking close.